Shelves are emptying faster than ever, and some folks wonder if it's 2020 panic buying all over again. This time, though, it's not about new bans or riots fueling the rush. In this video, we'll talk about how Trump's tariffs are reshaping the gun market and sending Americans into a buying frenzy, with many trying to grab firearms before prices spike or supply chains break down entirely. The atmosphere is charged with uncertainty. People see the headlines. Trump has ratcheted Chinese tariffs up to 245%, placed a blanket 10% on nearly everyone else, and hinted that if a country retaliates, he might respond with even tougher levies. These moves affect raw materials, steel, optics components, and a wide array of gun parts. Some folks initially thought only cheap Chinese accessories would get more expensive, but it's much broader than that. Certain firearms that rely on imported barrels, rails, or small internal parts are inching upward in cost, and buyers are bracing for worse. Independent gun shops around the country report that folks aren't just picking up one AR or one handgun. They're often buying multiple lowers, extra mags, and as much ammo as they can carry. Some in the community are asking, why is this happening if Trump supposedly supports the Second Amendment? The truth is that economics can drive a purchasing spree just as hard as the threat of new legislation. Many recall how, in the past, trade wars led to shortages and unpredictable price jumps. It's not about the government banning an item outright, but about whether foreign manufacturers can still afford to export or whether American companies that need certain offshore parts can continue to maintain affordable build costs. People who used to say they'd never panic buy unless a new assault weapons ban hit are feeling differently now. The phrase, "buy it cheap and stack it deep," has returned with force. Loyal supporters of the former president still feel confident he wants to empower gun owners, but they don't trust the international arena or the next administration if Trump doesn't win. Others believe that prices will climb and imports could get squeezed. This wave of buying includes many brand new gun owners, plus longtime enthusiasts who already have well-stocked safes but see an opportunity to hedge against future scarcity. Certain guns have emerged as the top choices. Each one either avoids the brunt of tariffs, remains popular regardless of import rules, or fits a niche that owners want to secure before supply gets choked off. The combination of fear over foreign parts, enthusiasm for American-made builds, speculation on what might happen after the next election, and general economic jitters has turned these particular firearms into bestsellers. First up is the PSA AR-15, with prices commonly hovering around $499 to $699 for a complete rifle, depending on sales or configurations. Palmetto State Armory has built a reputation for reliability at budget-friendly costs, and most of their components are made in the USA. That means fewer imported parts that risk falling prey to tariffs. People who want to assemble an AR from scratch are snapping up stripped lowers for around $50, plus matched uppers for a few hundred more. The fact that it's an American company and has a track record of pushing back against overregulation makes these rifles more appealing. They deliver a no-frills approach that satisfies first-time owners on a budget or seasoned hobbyists who want multiple ARs in the closet. Some worry that even American companies might be forced to raise prices on small parts or raw materials, so they're buying now to lock in deals. These rifles are described as the People's AR, and shops in various states report that shipments sell out within days. A more exotic entry is the Springfield Helien, a 5.56 bullpup that often lands in the $1,999 range. It's originally from Croatia, which means it's susceptible to import slowdowns if trade tensions expand. Springfield Armory has indicated that if overseas factories face higher tariffs or shipping restrictions, they might not be able to keep the Helien's price stable. That's prompted collectors, along with those who appreciate compact rifles, to grab them sooner rather than later. The popularity also stems from folks who like a shorter overall length without having to bother with the added paperwork of an SBR. In some stores, the Helien is already on backorder. In others, you might find one or two, but those can vanish quickly if a rumor circulates that a new tariff category is hitting European gun producers. Then there's the Zastava M70, commonly found in the $1,000 ballpark, one of the last bastions of classic AK-47 styling without being from China or Russia. With Chinese imports basically off the table and Russian imports increasingly restricted, Serbia's Zastava factory provides an AK that enthusiasts trust for build quality. The new tariff environment has many guessing that even neutral countries could get slapped with extra fees, so the people who have wanted a well-built AK see the ZPAPI as the best bet right now. There's also a historical angle. Plenty of longtime gun owners recall the days when a decent AK was only $300 or $400. That's long gone, and everyone expects that if Trump's trade war intensifies, prices could spike to $1,500 or even more. The ZPAP, with its robust receiver and old-school reliability, is seen as the get-it-before-you-can't option. Dealers mention that once shipments arrive, a wave of calls comes in, and they're gone within the week. Some folks aren't into tactical rifles at all and prefer a bolt-action approach. The Ruger American Ranch rifle is around $670 and fits multiple niche markets. Certain models come chambered in 7.62 by 39, which allows cheap ammo options. Some are in 300 blackout or standard 223. Because it's American-made, buyers feel more at ease that a sudden tariff on foreign barrels or stocks won't affect these rifles as much. Preppers and homesteaders like the rugged simplicity, especially since the rifle can handle common cartridges that can still be found on shelves when everything else is gone. Conversations in online forums suggest that folks appreciate having a non-semi-auto option for quieter hunting or farm defense. And with the overall uncertainty, it's one more piece of kit that doesn't break the bank. Another name that keeps cropping up is Glock, mainly the 19 or 17, around $599 to $650, depending on the store or any extra features. Some might find it ironic since Glock is an Austrian brand, but many of their pistols are built in the United States now, and the brand has carved out a secure spot in the law enforcement market. People believe that if any foreign manufacturer can weather a tariff storm, it's Glock. They have huge deals with police departments, plus robust US-based manufacturing that buffers them from the chaos. Folks who want a tried-and-true 9mm that can serve in just about any self-defense role are flocking to these models yet again. While Glocks have always been bestsellers, the current environment only intensifies that status, because no matter who's in office, the Glock brand typically remains a safe bet for parts, magazines, and compatibility. Shifting back to rifles, there's the KelTech Sub 2000 Gen 3, often found around $500, a quirky and compact carbine that folds in half and takes popular pistol mags. It's made in the US, which means it avoids the immediate tariff blow, and it circumvents the pistol brace dilemma that many are worried about. The Sub 2000 Gen 3 has re-emerged as a top seller for those who want a travel-friendly rifle that uses Glock or Smith & Wesson magazines. People who might have overlooked KelTech before are giving it a second glance, because they see the writing on the wall that foreign-made pistol-caliber carbines could face import hurdles, and braces for AR or AK pistols might face more regulation. Next in line is the Smith & Wesson M and P Shield Plus, usually priced around $500. This is a very popular concealed carry option, boasting a higher capacity than the older Shield, and enough reliability to earn the trust of everyday carriers. Its American production makes it less likely to get hammered by tariffs. Stores report a steady demand from new carriers who want a straightforward 9mm that isn't as pricey as some competitors. Enthusiasts who always wanted a carry gun see that supply might dry up or become more expensive if small parts can't be sourced cheaply, so they grab it now. There's also the possibility that if some new legal snag hits brace-equipped pistols or micro-compact imports, the Shield Plus remains a reliable fallback. People prefer to purchase one while the price is stable, instead of waiting for a potential spike. Rock Island Armory 1911 pistols, which often go for $450 to $700 depending on the model, present a different scenario. These are made in the Philippines and have historically offered a budget-friendly entry into the 1911 world. The new tariff environment threatens to boost prices on these pistols if the Philippines gets lumped in with higher levies, or if shipping costs rise across the board. Collectors want them because they're an affordable route into the classic 45 ACP platform, or sometimes 10mm, and they fear that once the import costs climb, the days of a sub-$500 1911 might be gone for good. Gun shops confirm that even customers who previously wanted an American 1911 are giving Rock Island another look, figuring it might be the last chance to snag one at that lower price point. Prices for Henry lever action rifles vary greatly from $400 to over $2,000, depending on a lot of things. These rifles don't rely on offshore parts and speak to a sense of patriotism that resonates with Trump's America First policy. The rising interest also comes from the resurgence of lever guns due to newer models having tactical features and mag-fed designs that enable the use of Spitzer bullets. The 357 mag, 44 mag, and 4570 variants still catch special attention from those who own revolvers chambered in these same calibers. There's also a renewed sense of pride in owning something that's quintessentially made in the USA without the risk of a tariff drama or import freeze. Then there's the IWI Taver X95, usually priced around $17.99 to $18.99. People know it's from Israel, which hasn't been directly targeted by Trump's tariffs, but the global supply chain can get tangled. If shipping routes or raw materials become costlier, that price could climb significantly. Enthusiasts who admire bullpups worry about uncertain changes in the next few months. The Taver has proven reliability and a dedicated following that doesn't want to risk losing access or paying several hundred more if things shift. Stores in bigger metropolitan areas are noticing that whenever a new shipment arrives, a handful of customers have been waiting to pounce, and then they vanish from shelves. The Taver's futuristic styling and battlefield pedigree combined with uncertain trade winds mean it remains a prime candidate for get-it-now buying. As a side note, accessories, optics, and ammo form the silent engine driving this frenzy too. The red dot market is heavily reliant on Chinese brands like Hollowons and NC Star, where pricing used to be unbeatable for decent performance. With a 125% tariff on many Chinese goods, buyers see the possibility that the sub-$300 optic they wanted could jump to $500 or more. Some are switching to American-made or American-assembled brands like Trigicon or EOTech, but those can cost significantly more. A few folks saw the writing on the wall and bought a stack of Hollowons last month, hoping to flip them for a profit if costs skyrocket. Gun shop owners have noted that once they sell through their current batch of Hollowons or primary arms imports, the next shipment may come at a much steeper price. That alone is prompting folks to grab them before the new tariffs really bite. Magazines are another hot item, AK mags especially, since so many come from overseas. Steel mags from Eastern Europe or surplus countries could face shipping delays or price hikes if importers have to pay new fees. AR mags remain mostly US-made, with Magpul and others based here, but a big chunk of polymer or steel raw material can come from abroad, so people are hedging their bets and buying in bulk. 10 or 20 AR mags at a time is common among enthusiasts who remember past shortages. Some are doing the same for Glock mags or drum mags, since these accessories may become impossible to find in a few months at the current prices. The biggest difference this time is that it's not strictly about anti-gun legislation or a threatened ban. It's a matter of balancing patriotic pride, fear of tariff-based price hikes, and the real possibility that certain imports might be delayed or cut off. That's why some would rather spend the money now than regret it later. But it's important to keep a level head and consider one's personal needs. Anyone looking to grab an AR, a hunting rifle, a sidearm, or just a reliable pump shotgun should gauge their local availability and finances before jumping in blindly. It never hurts to chat with trusted friends or do thorough research on where each product is actually made. Prices on PSA rifles, for example, might still hold fairly steady unless raw materials spike. The same can't be said for something like the Springfield Helien or the Zastava AK, which rely on steady imports. So, what's the main takeaway here? Well, this new buying frenzy isn't like the ones sparked by high-profile threats to the Second Amendment. It's driven by Trump's move to punish countries that fight back on trade, and I'm all for it. Granted, shelves across America reflect this reality, and it's anyone's guess how much worse it might get. Some are gambling that prices won't leap up too dramatically, while others say they've seen enough to know how these cycles end. That's why entire rows of AR lowers or pallets of AK mags vanish as soon as they appear. But let us know if you've noticed the same trends at your local shops or online. Have you already snagged a new pistol, rifle, or stack of mags before the prices climbed? Sound off in the comments. And while you're down there, please like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for more of these videos. Thanks for watching.